Well, good morning and welcome. And it's a beautiful Saturday morning over here. Hope some sun shines out your window as well. And I'm going to suggest an opening posture of your choice. So you could start in a seat, on your back, child pose. Those are some of my choices. You pick yours. And let it be a place of ease to start with. Even in this time of kind of forced stillness, many of us are still struggling with having to be productive. And it shows up on our yoga mat too. So if you can allow yourself to let your opening pose be to be a little non-productive, then do that. And once you get into that space where it feels pretty easy to be there, let a couple cleansing breaths come in and then go out. Feeling our breath come in and go out is a great way for us to connect to nature, where so many have lost their way. I find yoga people, they know that, we feel that. So we come to our mat to connect to the ground, to the earth, to ourselves, so that we can fully connect to others, including the world we live in, the nature, the universe. So just breathe and feel how you're a part of this just because you exist. You don't have to do anything, but breathe. Oh. Posture of your choice.
Oh, I heard.
Have you turned your pose into work? Or can you get so easy in it that you might fall asleep? Are you aligning with your breath or your thought? Or something else? Have you found layers that are ready to be removed? Or are they still rigid and resistant? The process of opening takes time for many of us. It can be difficult when it feels like one thing is an illusion and the other thing feels like reality. And then they flip-flop. We don't know. We got a foot in one world and a foot in the other. It's very unstable. So what world do you want both feet in? What's preventing you from living in that world? What's preventing you from living better in that world? Your awareness back to your breath, to your body. And much like I start my vinyasa and some of my slow flow classes with people who I know, I would like you to take the next 5 to 10 breaths and either maintain your stillness or find some type of movement that your body might be craving. It could be as simple as a head roll, or as big as a spinal twist, or a back. Taking control of your own practice. It's a really big step in anybody's home practice. And it starts by listening to what our body wants, so we can deliver that. We're going to slowly move our way into hands and knees. When you get there, you can choose to hold tabletop, or you could choose to move through some cat-cow. There's plenty of time to move, to be still. So honor that place inside of you. Try not to let the ego push you. For some of us, that's not a problem at all. We have to encourage ourselves to move a little bit. Sometimes when I get to hands and knees, the first thing I like is to push back into a childlike pose and stretch out a little bit there and then go forward a little bit to a little mock cobra pose. So where do your cat cows go? If you're holding that table, and you feel all the nuance running through your body. It's amazing what happens. When we turn our attention inward and stay focused there. I'm going to say 10 more breaths. So if you're moving through cat-cows, you're really going to get a nice stretch through the spine. Don't forget to include the neck. And if you're holding table, may I suggest turning the left fingertips around to face the knees. You maybe give yourself a nice forearm stretch for a couple of breaths, and then the other hand. And if you're pretty open there, go both hands. And if you're really open there, start bending your elbows. Oh, and then this is how it goes from yin to vinyasa. Next, we're going to lift up into peacock. If it's easy and you can hold it for 20 breaths, it's yin. Where does your ego push you? Where do you lag back? Child's pose will be our next pose. So you don't have to hurry to get there, but taking it when your body says, hey, it's time. And I could probably spend 5 minutes cueing you into child's pose. Part of the beauty of Yin is allowing the pose to work for you. So you could start with your knees out as wide as you could get them, the big toes touching. You could support your belly and your chest, or let the natural pull of gravity bring you into the earth. Your arms could be out long and active as you push the ground away with your palms. The elbows could be soft and bent. The hands and the fingers are not. Some of you are open in the shoulders and might want to stretch the arms out and then bend the elbows and plant your hands on the tops of your shoulder heads and get a stretch through your tricep and stubbed calf. Some of you are going to try that and it's going to be awful. I'll invite you not to stay there. Some of you will try it and go, oh, I'm looking for this stretch.
Walk your elbows forward.
Listen to your body. It's trying to take you where you need to go to release. Your body's trying to help you. Which means it'll also hang on to that stuff you're not ready to deal with. Now that you've had a few moments to settle into this pose, would you like to make any adjustments? You could bring your forehead down, and if it touches the earth, awesome. Roll your forehead, massage your third eye, pineal gland. If I was in Latin class, I'd get yelled at. That would be pineal gland. For both sexes, that one starts to calcify, get hard and dry up on us as we move into puberty. We lose our ability for imagination and fun. And we open it up by breaking up that calcification by rolling it around. We reignite that fire of intuition, imagination, play. Imaginary play, not mindless games. The chin's on the mat. Feel what's going on in your neck. Blend underneath your chin. You could be on your cheek. And if you were on one cheek, give it maybe a few more breaths to notice how much of the whole side of your face pressure you're putting on your cheekbone and your jaw. And if you're on your cheek, make sure you turn the other cheek for the last half of this hold. No matter how much I practice, I never really get good enough at turning the cheek. I encourage you to practice. And if you're really good at it, and you're really patient with people who need more of you in the world. going to get to a point in each pose where I'll tell you you have 1 to 5 breaths. And just as a reminder, 1 means I got to get out of here. 5 means I'm still working on something. If you need to get out of there, come on up to the table. It might feel good to lift all the way up into down dog or step into a forward fold. If you come into the table, it might feel good to stretch a leg behind you. So the practice of Yin has been around a long time. And in between some of these long static holds, we need to burn off that prana that builds up inside us, burst that energy out. And it can come out as tapas, heat, fire, come out as a big cleansing breath. Or it might be encouraged through a big pose, an energetic one. You have to activate muscles to be there. Give yourself 5 more breaths to recover, to recoup. We'll meet in the table again. Since my legs fell asleep, I'm going to stay seated. When you get to table, and if some cat-cows feel good, or neck circles, hip sways, or barrel rolls, you want to add movement in, add it in. If not, we're going to extend. Let's go with the left leg first. Extend your left leg behind you. Keep the toes on the ground, the ball of the foot rooted, so you can really stretch through the heel. And give that calf a nice long lengthening. Maybe that spot right behind the knee too gets a little bit longer. Reach out through the crown of your head. So even though your face is looking downward, it's not tucking in and it's not lifting. We're lengthening everything here. If you would like to pick that leg up for a breath or two behind you, pick it up. If not, bring the knee up and the foot between the hands. Help a guy out if it needs help. We're coming in to a low lunge, left foot forward. Keep both hands down, surround the foot. Maybe you drop the chin in and then lift the chin up. Slide your shoulders down your back. And if your hands don't reach the floor, I know there are days when I'm so tight my hands don't reach the floor. So you can support yourself with blocks. And if you don't have blocks or something to support, to raise the floor, you can bring your forearms to your thigh. And if you're in a prop dilemma, let me know. We're still selling props. Good. Now let's see, the left foot's forward. So right hand's going to push down into the ground and you're going to take the left arm out to the side first, level with your shoulder. Thumb facing forward, spread your fingers, and spread your palm to the floor. Lengthen your spine and pull your navel in. You're going to push the ground away with your right hand and lift the left arm all the way up to the ceiling as you let your shoulders stack, but not the hips. So shoulders, ribs, waist. Of course, that left hip's going to want to lift, so we're going to have to push it back down. And we do that to feel the stretch, to add intensity. Keep the hand open, and you should be able to see your thumb. So if your gaze can go up, make sure you can see your thumb. I see a lot of people think they're getting more of a stretch by letting that arm wing open, but you're losing your alignment and you're going to torque your rib cage down by the diaphragm. So keep the hand up over your nose. One more breath. And then when you exhale, you're going to bring the left hand down inside the left foot. So we'll have left foot, left hand, right hand. Inhale, lift your gaze. And this time, go ahead, lift, compress the neck and the back to open up and lengthen the front. All the way through your sternum if you can. Push the ground away with your hands and pull the shoulders down your back. Where's your belly up to? Get this nice long stretch before you fold in for your humble warrior. Can you take 3 more breaths here? And if so, then do it. And when you get to the breath that tells you it's time to fold in, you're going to fold into your humble warrior. There are so many variations, from bending the elbows and putting your head on the floor to keeping the arms straight and just dropping your chin in. And then once you get here for a few breaths, just take a moment or two to feel what's going on in every part of your body. Then decide if you need an intensifier. For many, an intensifier would be to take the right knee back behind the hip and let that psoas stretch. For others, dropping down further onto both elbows until they touch the floor. If you're really open in the hip, you can climb the left shoulder underneath your left leg and start to bring your left leg over your shoulder. And then you can push with your shoulder into the back of your leg and push back. And gentle assists. Let it feel good. Lots of talking. So now, go inside. What are you feeling? Don't let your breath get choked off. If it's too quiet, you may be in too easy of a space. There's not enough sensation coming up for you. And if your breath got really deep and loud, perhaps that is your sign that you've gone too far. You don't need to be working that hard. Relax your forehead. If your tongue is glued to the roof of your mouth, release it. Smile. It's really hard to clench your jaw when you're smiling. If your shoulders are like mine, they have started to creep up around your ears. Pull them back behind your head. Your habit with your body is to hide things and ignore them. You might be trying to come out and poke you right now. You might be getting mad, angry, jealous, envious. And those low vibrations, they start to sneak out. Sometimes they get directed at the person who put us in the position to release them. So I accept your negative vibration. Let them go. My hope is that one day we can all learn to vibrate and stay in a higher emotion. Oh, there you are. 1 to 5 more breaths. Split comes next. I think everybody in here has heard all my verbiage on it. To support yourself with blocks or something when you transition into house split. Things settle when we're in yoga. Let the movement match the amount of settling that happens. And take a few breaths to get out of the hold. Take a few more to get into one. So half split. Left leg is going to end up being long. You can either point the toe or flex the foot. Different muscle groups will be activated. The more flexible you are, I'm going to encourage the flexed foot. This is about opening up your left hamstring. So for some of you with a full splits practice, that will be a cheat. So find a variation of half splits that keeps your interest. If you haven't taken a few breaths, elongating your spine out from the hip bone, try to elongate your spine for a breath or two, and then round. And the purpose for that is to create space between the vertebrae before you try to roll them in on top of themselves. So instead of just dumping lethargically into the posture, we give ourselves activation and move the energy through our body to create release so we can receive. This is a pose that, as you settle in, you might need to back off of instead of go deeper. So going deeper is the yogi's ability to know with your senses which direction you need to move. More in or more out. Deeper into the pose doesn't mean getting your nose to your knee. It means knowing the difference on the day that you can and the day that you're working on. Back to your face. Wow. Made it 1 to 5 breaths. And from your half split, you're going to end up sitting all the way back. So your right knee extends. So you come from your half split and just sit down next to your right foot. I make it sound like that's easy. If that's not easy for you, you could put a pillow or a blanket under your butt to help lift your hips. You can allow your knees to come apart and give yourself more stability through the hips. And you could also let that foot turn out to the side instead of turning your right foot all the way back onto the toes. So what will your body allow? That's what you need to do. And if your hamstring is spazzing out, don't strain that leg right away. You need to let that coax itself down. Now, if you feel like you're going to fall over to the left, which it happens to me a lot in this pose, if you brought one with you, you can always use a towel. Everybody has one of those in their homes as a prop. So you can pop that under your hip too, and that's going to help wedge you up. But if you didn't bring one of those, you've got your left hand. That's going to help you from falling over as well. So you could stay right here and sit tall and breathe. You could lift your arms up and take a few rounds of breath, extending through the waistline and lifting through the rib cage and the sternum. Every time we do this, we strengthen and lengthen the erector spinae muscles on our back. And then the last piece would be to fold over the legs. And you don't have to go far. It could be hands down, chin tucked, right? And then lengthen and round, or lengthen and fold. All of them offer something spectacular for your body. Pick the one that you're going to benefit from the most. So when we do this pose in Ashtanga, it's very active. We would activate the left leg, all of the bandhas, which are the energy locks in your body, including the transverse abdominis or navel area, pulling that belly in. But this is yin, so we want to go a little more passive. We want to let the stretch happen instead of working for it. See if you can soften in for just a few more breaths. If you're striving to be anywhere in this pose,
We have to
let it
get
go.
out of our minds. Our thinking mind.
About 10 to 15 more breaths. Do you want to fold forward more? And can you?
Using a mantra, a phrase.
You sit a little heavier into the right hip and allow the right quad to stretch.
Loving awareness.
One to five breaths.
Awareness.
And we're going to recline this. So if you're folded all the way over, you'll take your time. You'll lift up. If you're seated, you're halfway there. So we're just going to walk the hands back as far behind us as we can go. And for some of us, this might be it. It's a great place to be. You stop, you breathe, you're stretching, you're realigning your pelvis. We're letting this amazing muscle in your thigh lengthen. If you can go back further, if you can lay all the way down, lay down. You don't need to listen to me, right? But some of us, we've got a couple things out of place, so just laying the heck down doesn't work. We have to take ourselves to baby steps. So if you could come on down to your forearms, come on down to your forearms. If that causes the knee to lift, maybe come back up to the hands. You were probably getting a lot there. I like to talk about all the options, but then you give yourself that permission to feel what's going on in your body. I like to tense up to force myself into places I'm not ready for. And I have seen others lay there like a limp sack. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to push so hard that you hurt yourself in your practice. But you don't want to not challenge yourself and do work that doesn't produce change. Breathe into your belly. Relax your butt cheeks. What's shaky? What's sticky? Imagine space. Right, full of light. Let that light create space to the stickiness, the resistance, and move out. Oh, there you are, 1 to 5 more breaths. I wish I had a great escape plan for you, but I don't. So some of you might end up laying on your back and releasing your leg there and then hugging your knee there. Some of you might lift back up to a seat. Some of us never left our seat. Now we're just going to extend our leg out long. So once your right knee comes back online, and if the leg fell asleep at all and you got pins and needles going on, I'd like to say that's a good thing. It's change taking place. And then eventually you'll make your way back to table. I'm envisioning at least 5 or so breaths for that transition to happen. And when you get back to table, the right leg will go out behind you. And you can push through the ball of the foot with that leg extended down, with the foot on the floor to really get a good stretch behind the knee. Stretch out the calf. Maybe you need to take a couple head rolls because we transfer tension into our neck a lot, either from our shoulders or from our jaw. Take care of your body. Let some of that go. Right heel will lift if that feels right. Doesn't have to. Maybe 1 breath, maybe 10. It's your breath. You decide to pull the right knee forward and set the right foot down between your hands. Give yourself a couple of breaths there. If this pose is easy for you, push the ground away with your hands and open your back. If it's hard to get your hands to the floor, smile. I'm happy when my fingers cupcake. I like to have blocks. Once you gather a few breaths with a hand, a foot, and a hand, sink into that a little bit. Relax the back side of your right thigh. Let the hand bend. Soften. Take your right arm out to the right. Palm down. Thumb forward. Spread your fingers. Stretch your palm. Keep an eye on your shoulders. And then with the left hand grounded, take the right hand up. Stack the shoulders. Yep, the hips gonna want to come too, so try to square the hips back off. Can you feel the lines of energy? Was there a restriction? If so, where? Breathe into that. Everything's fluid. Send the breath from fingertips to fingertips. Out of the head, the tailbone. Are you looking at your thumb? If you opened your eyes, would it be right over your nose? If you've got 1 more breath in this twist, take it. If you need more than 1, they're available. When you bring your hand down, it's going to be right foot, right hand, left hand. So 2 hands and a foot. Go ahead and lift your gaze and give yourself a nice big stretch here. Shoulders slide down. Push the ground away. Maybe you can lift your chest a little. Feel yourself lengthening. Maybe pull your navel in so you don't collapse into the low back. And really stretch. Give yourself anywhere from 1 to 3 more breaths in this active stretch. And then allow it to go passive as you drop into humble warrior. Or wait, we're in the dragon. each side in dragon pose is going to be very different for some of us, very similar for others. Dragons start with a drop of your chin. Let your head be a heavy weight to lengthen your spine. Then, do you drop into the elbows, or do you have to keep them straightened? Or do you get to keep them straightened? Each little intensifier could happen slowly. It don't all have to happen at once. Like wiggling the knee back if you did it on the first side. Maybe you explore that on this side. If you're one of those bendy people, then you can climb your right shoulder underneath your right thigh. Get under there. You're just happy you got your chin bowed today. Congratulations. Every one of us has our own unique work to do. Mind go and left untethered. Bring it back to your body and breath. Circulate the energy. Radiates out from us up to 7 feet. There's a lot of scared people out there. I feel it every time we go to the store. What do you learn to do? And release the negative so there's room for the positive. Everyone has something to be grateful for. You have 1 to 5 more breaths, and then you're going to slip into half split. I'm going to trust all of you to get into the second side at your own time, at your skill level. Let the intensity match what you want to achieve today. If you're a pusher, I need you to relax. If you're a coaster, I need you to amp it up a notch. Your jaw didn't get tight again, did it? Your chest. Those half splits are going to turn into your half hero pose, part of your asana. Because in Trianga we call it Trianga Ikamuka Paschimottanasana. That means active. We're not going active. Take your time, especially if that hamstring is tight, weak, or just tight. It's a long time. And then one side, when you get into the Akapada, when you get into Ardha Virasana, half hero pose, this side might be your good side and you can sit up straight. This side might be the side you need to support yourself with your hand or open the knees a lot. Let's go exploring for a few breaths on this side. And if you can lift your arms up high, you'll take a few breaths lifting your arms up high. We're working to get the bend out of the elbows, and some of you can even bring the palms together. Don't sacrifice the shoulders and a flaring of the ribs to do it. Stay on your butt. Remember, let the pose work for you. You have to do the work. Then the pose works for you. You get to learn about yourself as we do the work together. And once you nav anywhere from 3 to 5 breaths with your hands up, go ahead and take it into your fold. And remember, the fold could be as simple as putting your hands down so you don't fall over and tucking your chin. Or rounding all the way in and bringing your nose to your knee. Some of you might even be able to grab your foot. I'd like to remind everyone it is not what the pose looks like. We all look different in the same pose. What does this pose feel like? What's happening for you? It's changing. Remember to smile. You can't clench your jaw. Or it's harder to. It also relaxes the nervous system with your deeper breath. It tells your brain that not only are you calm, but you're enjoying it. If you're devotional in any way, let your devotion come forth. Love, bhakti, prayer, God, religion. Always there. Always the fallback. Those who are really disconnected, struggling the most. Breathe in. Breathe out. Many of us need this calm energy, and we can help. We can help send that calm energy out. 1 to 5 breaths, and then you're going to lay it back to the extent that your body reclines in it.
When's class first? Never.
Longest year
This
last.
is the class that never ends. Some people started doing it. Oh,
Breathe into your belly. Let out any sighs, moans, or groans that make you come on. Remember, you're here to heal, to help. Got 1 to 5 more breaths. And if you can just untangle your leg and stay on your back, if you're all the way down, then just come to lying on your back. If you're like me and you need to sit back up and untangle because you weren't all the way reclined, then carefully untangle your leg and send it straight. We're all going to meet on our backs with the knees hooked in when you get there. Take the time. Now you could end your practice. Take a candlestick and lay down. Just lay down. Or there is time for one more pose, and I saw us coming into a bridge pose. So if you have something to support yourself, support yourself. If you don't, lift up to a comfortable place where it's kind of like work when you're not really straining. You can put your hands under your hips and then lower your hips down and call that supported. You could play 1 potato, 2 potato, stack your fists under your hips and call that supported. And if you're flexible enough, you could lift the hips all the way up and walk the hands under and then get yourself lined up on your joints, and then you can support here. So lots of different ways to support yourself in your bridge pose if you don't have something to stick under your hips. If you can interlace your hands, or turn the palms flat and push into the first knuckle and thumb. So we get a nice rotation of our arms, and then soften them, unless you want to keep working them. And if the hands are interlaced, the pinkies are pushing down, but so are the backs of the arms and the forearms, pushing the ground away, at least for a breath or two. And then we release. And if you're not supported in bridge and you get to a point where like, woo, I'm getting tired, come on down. Take a breath or two and then maybe go back up. You don't have to, because the next pose after this one is Savasana. And if you found yourself in a supported bridge or a supported back bend that feels really yummy and you want to stay there for Savasana, I won't mention any names, Sandy, but you surely could. And if you're in a position at home where you come out of your bridge and you want to go legs up the wall, then take your legs up. But when you finish and you hug yourself and you rock around, or you let go of some cleansing breaths, let your body come to stillness so you can accept and re-blueprint. the cellular change that you just created in your body. And the deeper you rest, the more the cells in your body can do their job. So as I let you drift off into Savasana, I'll bring us back as a group. And in the next 3 to 5 days, I'm going to be starting a 40-day challenge to live life as a yogi. And we'll be doing it at 3 different levels. From all in to moderate to everyday lifestyle yoga. For now, challenge yourself to be still and relax. The ultimate yin pose, bringing home. The earth is waiting. Let your spirit soar.
Shri Hari Sharanam, Shri Guru Charanam, Shri Hari Sharanam, Shri Guru Charanam, Shri Hari Sharanam.
you bring awareness back in, know that you still have time to be still. Like the Savasana snooze button. Bring awareness back and reflect what happened during those 5 minutes. Pieces that will be helpful to you in your day. Bring them into your mind and heart with an inhale. The things that will not serve you through your day, your weekend, or even your week, let them go on an exhale. It could be loud, it could be little. Learning through our breath how to receive and how to release. The drama happens in our minds because of our emotions. As your awareness deepens, let your breath grow, and you can stay on your back and complete the class there. But as your awareness brings you back to the here and now, if you'd like to sit up and close your practice, feel free to do so. Don't rush. Give yourself 3 to 5 breaths to get up. Or 3 to 5 breaths to get more comfortable. We have the power to put ourselves in this relaxed state. We have the power to stay here. For me, that's going to take a lot more practice. As we bring our hands together and bow in, you can do this on your back or on your body. Offer gratitude to yourself for doing the work that only you can do. Everyone has something to be grateful for. And as we bow in and we let that humility wash over us, we become a little more compassionate to the world around us. I humbly thank each of you for being here and continuing to support us during this time. And we will continue to be here and support you. Namaste.